What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is She Said.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So guys, it's official. Chris Rock has pissed off half of the nation with this new stand-up Netflix special titled Selective Outrage. A lot of people are mad. First, it was that video I posted about him joking about watching Emancipation just to watch Will Smith get whooped. After that, many people started to come out about their offense to Chris Rock's special. One of those people is Jada Pinkett Smith recently, who commented on the topic. More of that in a little bit. I just want to read this real quick. He made fun of a lot of people in that special, including Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, right? And so Taj Jackson, a family member of Michael Jackson, calls him out. This post read, Taj Jackson calls out Chris Rock for decades of harassment towards his family after he compared Michael Jackson and R. Kelly in new comedy special. And so she tweeted, Chris Rock has used my family as punching bags for his entire career, she says. Yet, am I supposed to feel bad for him getting slapped and humiliated on the Oscars? After seeing a new clip of him attacking my dead uncle in the first minutes of his retaliation, I'm Still Relevant special, I have three things to say. Number one, what did my family ever do to you to warrant these decades of harassment and your constant bullying disguised as jokes? Two, just because you were bullied early on in life doesn't give you the excuse to bully others now. And three, thank you, Will Smith. Really? I actually didn't read the third one. That's effed up. I don't know. Do you guys think that the jokes weren't that? Here's something interesting is Selective Outrage is a perfect title for this actual special. Why? Because plenty of people have made jokes about Michael Jackson. They've been doing that for a long time. Recently, I remember Andrew Schultz did in his Netflix special. He joked around about Michael Jackson and it was hilarious. It was funny, man. I don't get why everybody gets so sensitive when it comes to Chris Rock now coming back with retaliating to what happened to him at the Oscars. I have a pretty good idea why. And I think that idea why is a lot of these people that you're seeing, number one, hate what comedy is. They hate the fact that comedians can get on stage and joke about serious topics. They don't want that. Not only do they want to police speech and what you are able to say to not offend anybody, but they also don't want comedians to get up there and make jokes and exercise their freedom of speech. It's like, don't offend anybody and make jokes. It's like, that's the part of comedy. What's happening to society? This is dangerous because if comedians can't joke and people can't think, then people can't tell the truth, because sometimes the truth is bitter.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
But we're really here to talk about Jada Smith. It turns out that she actually responded back to Chris Rock, a source from her camp. And for those of you who don't know, celebrities do this a lot when they don't want to get their own hands dirty, right? When they don't want people following up, asking questions, and they want to avoid lawsuits, etc., is they'll get someone from their camp to go to some blog and make statements on their behalf. This wasn't just any blog. This was actually People magazine, so it's kind of reputable. The headline read, Jada Pinkett Smith had no part in Chris Rock and Will Smith's drama, says source. And I hope you guys don't actually believe that. I know you guys are smarter than that you think she had no part. Let's also have this conversation. Imagine you're going through something as tough as this, as Will Smith. This is why people don't respect that marriage. And your wife is trying to, hey, I'm not a part of this, right? She, instead of saying, you know, I understand and I'm here standing with my husband and kind of suffering it with your man who needs you, she's like washing her hands out of the situation. No, stand by that man who stood by you and went up there and did what he did, right? But I get it. We know she drinks tea.
No, I'll have a tea, actually.
Guys, I'm going to read the article here because it's not too long. It says, a source close to the actress told People exclusively, comedians' focus on her has been going on for almost 30 years, she says. Jada Pinkett Smith is not involved in the ongoing tension between her husband, Will Smith, and comedian Chris Rock, a source close to the actress tells People. A year after the infamous incident at the 94th Academy Award where Smith struck Rock on stage, Rock addresses the assault in his live Netflix comedy special, Chris Rock Selective Outrage, on Saturday, peppering it with scathing jokes about the Smiths and their marriage. Yeah, he went in on him. So the source quoted, Jada had no part in all of this other than being heckled The source says Chris is obsessed with her. So she's claiming that Chris Rock is obsessed with her. And that's been going on for almost 30 years. Well, we know that they did work together back in, I believe, 2005. In Madagascar. Chris was of course playing that zebra. I don't know who Jada Smith was playing. What was she playing in Madagascar? No idea. Back into the article, it says, quote, look where he chose to film his Netflix special, her hometown of Baltimore. That was probably on purpose. Obsessed. Nah. You know, this man did what they didn't want him to do, or what most people wouldn't have done, is he decided to take his time. The most dangerous type of man isn't the man who's going to retaliate in your face out of anger, out of emotion. It's the type of man who has enough self-control to sit down and figure out the best way to attack, right? To come back. And Chris Rock did. Chris Rock did, and decided to attack using what he knows best, which is his comedy, his clout, etc. Right? Legally. And he could have pressed charges. He could have sued Smith, but he decided not to. Article goes on to say, back in 2016, she helped start a movement with the Academy Awards by questioning why there are so few black members. And Chris took it to this. The source adds, in 2016, Jada showed her support for black actors as part of the hashtag Oscars So White movement. This woke shit, man. Like, the Smiths are still making slave movies and complaining about their privilege. Come on. It goes on to read, Will, 54, was shut out of the Best Actor race that year for his performance in Concussion. The movie sucked. I'm sorry, that's what I hear. If I hear multiple people telling me a movie is terrible, I won't go watch it, even if I was curious. And I was really curious of that movie because it follows a doctor who I believe was studying concussions in the NFL, and how the NFL was trying to hide these studies that were proving that these NFL players were getting exposed to CT and like brain injuries and diseases as a result of the sport. But it turns out the movie wasn't that great. And you know, I wasn't going to see Creed 3, but I saw it last night. Why? Because I kept on hearing that the movie's actually decent, right? And I'm not a huge Michael B. Jordan fan. I think he's okay as an actor, but I'm going to actually make a video about that. It was a good movie. It really was. He goes on to say, during the stand-up special, Rock said, years ago, his wife said I should quit the Oscars. So Chris said that in the stand-up special, that Jada told him to quit the Oscars. I shouldn't host because her man didn't get nominated for Concussion. And then he gives me an F in Concussion. The source counters, she never asked Chris not to host the Oscars ever. She publicly said in a Facebook post at the time, Chris would be a great Oscars host and is perfect for the job. In his special, Rock claimed that Jada deserved to be made fun of, saying that she was the one to start things and he was simply reacting. I did some jokes about her, we're quoting Chris here, who gives an F. That's how it is. She starts it, I finish it, Rock said. That's what the F happened. Nobody effing on this B. She started this shit. Nobody was picking on her. The source tells people they were shocked at how many times Chris used the word B in reference to Jada. Don't slap another man. Yeah, he called Will Smith's wife a B. He did. Yep. It's like, you don't get to do something like that atrocious, and then try to govern the way somebody's going to react to it. Some guys would have punched back. Some guys would have taken that shit to the end. You know, some guys will attack your whole family on stage with their tongue and words and comedy, etc. Despite Rock's targeting of Jada, she is looking ahead, the sources adds. Right now, Jada is focused on her book that will come out this year, the source concluded. That's how I know this is legit, because you're reading this and it sounds very emotionally driven. I don't think a source would think to themselves, well, let's promote her book. Nah, this was definitely put there on purpose in response. And Jada is, of course, working on some book where she's telling us more things about her marriage that, quite frankly, I think most of us really don't want to hear much about. But guys, what do you think, right? What do you think to Jada Smith responding back to Chris Rock's stand-up special? Did you see it? What did you think? Do you think he's justified for saying what he said? As always, I'm curious. Leave your comments down below. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.